June, the recording. Well, we're waiting for everybody. Welcome to the June International Mastermind. Let's play a little game which will help us get grounded. And the game is what's on your mind. What's on your mind? You can use the chat box or tell me or share out loud, and no, don't filter. Everything is confidential. We actually don't want any censoring, any filtration. That's the process of the mastermind. So I'll let Michael, since Michael was talking already, go first. And here's Veronica. Go, Michael. Okay, you're gonna use the chat box or share out loud. So.
Hi, Alice. I was just going to write that I've got an absolutely uncertain day. I've got no idea what's going to happen today. I think the weather's going to be okay, and I've got a bit of a list that's unscheduled. And I did not much yesterday to relax, so I'm just like, what's going to happen? Yeah.
Okay, good. But you're open to great things, yeah?
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I'm enjoying the fact that I've got a completely empty field there. I'm enjoying that.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what about for you, Matt? From New York?
I feel calm. I feel excited. Work's going well because I work in the human services field, and we have no COVID infection in our nonprofit agency right now. So that feels really good. And then I'm also focused on investing. I'm focused on not missing this downturn and looking back with regret. So I'm constantly seeking out value wherever I can find it, just so that, you know, I can get on this bus or get run over by it.
Fabulous. Very good. And who's thinking about COVID anymore? Now, the top of the news, the headlines are completely different, right? Anyway, speaking of investments, Matt, your favorite subject, remind me next time we meet to talk more about credit and leveraging your credit for investments, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Which I'm sure in Australia and the UK, you have something similar that's called something else that you can use to for investments, because there could be great investments now as we are slowly moving out of this COVID period. So Veronica, your turn. We're doing a quick game while we're waiting for everybody to get on, which is called What's on Your Mind? Share without censoring anything.
Oh, what's on my mind? I feel peace today. I'm making a dinner, a shepherd's pie dinner. Instead of buying it ready-made, I make it myself. It's very good.
Very good. Great.
Great.
Fabulous. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so we started on Monday to implement a little fitness within our meeting. Matt, this is for you because Michael and Veron are already pros. To help getting out of your head so your thoughts can circulate better, okay? So we are gonna start right now, and I'll put YouTube approved music, or they block me. And we're gonna move our body. Don't worry about anybody watching, just move your body at your own pace. We'll get up and move our body, and we'll let our creative juices come to mind so that we can start our mastermind. So let me play it. I tested the audio and it was working fine. I'll play something dance-like, approved by Mr. YouTube, who gets upset if you use anything but their music. So here we go, my dance folder. Ready? And vámonos. Can you hear the music? Can you hear the music?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, just get up and move a little bit. Let your creative juices come to mind. Okay, I'll move with you. With you. Here we go. Good job. Absolutely. Let all creative ideas, you can even close your eyes if you want. censor, don't filter. We give it 30 seconds. Do a little spin. Symbolize 360 degrees. Well done. Clockwise and anti-clockwise. Good job. 10 more seconds. Give it all you got. Let all these amazing flow of energy and ideas and thoughts come to you. Out of the folds of your feet, brain, arms, hands, everywhere. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. And resume the recording. Okay, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you feel more relaxed?
Yeah, very.
Okay, good. All right, so I know there's some people coming on a little late, but we'll start because Matt has to go. And at the end of each hot seat, we will do another segue of fitness to get the juices flows. So Matt, I can guess what your hot question is. Just I know you will. Keep in mind that we got, so I represent 2 continents really well, but I have sensors and fillers in many other continents because I work with them daily, all of them. Oh, here's Gary. And then Michael is from Australia, you are from North America, and Veron is in the UK, but she's got lots of great contacts everywhere, including China, yeah? Okay, so you're in the hot seat, and you share what's on your mind, but go more specifically so we can brainstorm and mastermind with you, sharing the method that you all know well from Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I didn't know I'd be in the hot seat. I haven't been on the call in a while, so I appreciate that. I appreciate seeing everybody. What my wife, Giselle, and I and Elena have been talking about recently is kind of like the anti-COVID-19 response to investing. It's, a lot of people are just, I think, feeling overwhelmed, scared, and sort of putting their head under a rock. And we're trying to run the other way. Yes, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot going on health, family-wise, but we're on that, we're covering that. So what I really want to focus on is, investing in opportunity during this time. I'm intrigued by it because, as an example, the US stock market dropped like 30%. It's not a real drop, it's a temporary fear-based drop. So why not take advantage of it? There are real estate opportunities now that are presenting themselves simply because of COVID. So, we're not rich, we don't have a ton of money, but for the cash that we do have, mostly in a retirement account, we want to invest it wisely. And quite honestly, it's a nice diversion from COVID to think about things a little bit the way they used to be, and to have some enjoyment that's not always all the drama and drain of COVID. So that's what's on my mind, is just thinking about where to put limited funds these days to get a little bit of extra lift, a little bit of extra upside that wouldn't have normally been available 3 months ago. That's pretty much it.
Okay, very good. So keep in mind you have an international audience. Are you open to international
Sure.
inputs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. Great. And that's a great question. Is everybody clear on that? And you all, by the way, we all need investments to become free with our money and time and all other resources, as you know. Okay. So, yeah, I love to hear also from all the other continents, because they always have a different perspective. And sometimes if you don't travel, or if you're stuck, like now with COVID, we can't travel, we see only one perspective, but it's important to have a 360 view, as I was saying while we were dancing. And you're all unmuted, so it's a smaller group today, so just free flow. Love to hear from all three of you. Yeah, Michael, Veron, and Gary.
Right. Well, I agree. It's a great thing to focus on. It's very positive. Investing is ultimately a big part of future building for both parties. I think that 101 with investment is you pick a company that's being managed well, and so you'd be looking at people that were successfully navigating COVID, and perhaps some organisations have handled it badly in themselves. And that would probably be a sign not to perhaps jump in on their shares, even if they're cheap. The winners of the market may not be the same players after this, but I'd be just looking at the kind of growth that you see coming out of it, the leadership that's going into that, companies that are really innovative, coping really well, able to fly quicker, and still accessible at a good price, I guess, relative to what they may normally trade at. And again, there's a big danger in going with new companies or new projects and things like that. But if you have a balanced portfolio, it's fun to have a little risk area with something that you believe in, that you see is good, and that again adds to the inspiration and motivation. You might pick up a really good winner.
Thank you, Michael.
The other thing is, I'm a big fan. I'll throw it in since there's a moment of silence in ethical investment and doing things that you believe in and see the results non-financially as another form of benefit from putting your money there. If you can get the same rate, ultimately awesome. If you get a slightly bigger return from somebody doing something dodgy and something else that's going to be great for the planet, then it becomes tricky depending on the context of the investor. But if they're around the similar point of returns, that's just another factor that I think is worth adding to that mix of what should I invest in.
That's a really good point, Michael. Thank you.
Great. Let's hear from Veron. She has a lot to share about investments.
Right. Well, in UK, actually, there are lots of opportunity, and the people in property keep saying that, you know, this is the great time to share in to invest in property. And in here, I don't know whether you have it in States. You know, here is they also have a kind of investment, small or big investment. You know, that they can invest in a project, and then they will get interest after, probably mostly is after 18 months. You know, they'll give you the interest rate. This project, these things, they will be invested in a actual project, which is a building. Yeah, there are some which is in very good area. You can choose. You know, you can choose a few projects. I think I just have, somebody just gave me one recently, which is in a very, very good area. It's like they like together, some investor together, and then they all of them together, they share the investment.
Yeah.
But then when the project is finished, when the buildings are sold, etc., so they will share the profit as well. Yeah.
Wow.
That is one way. Yeah. Which is quite good. At the same time, you can also learn about, because they will give you the information. You also learn about the process at the same time. Yeah. There are also other investment opportunity. You know, like if you like mineral or natural resources. I mean, but they are a bit uncertain at the moment because of the situation of the world. But they exist. You know, they exist. If you're interested, I can let you know of some of these opportunities. Really, yeah.
That'd be great. I mean, I've done both. I've done both real estate investing in the IRA, you know, independently, like 1-to-1, and I've also done, you know, purchased like gold and oil just through the equity markets. So I've got some interest in both, you know.
Okay, if you give me your email, I can email you later.
How about I type it in the chat right now?
Yeah, Lloyd, type it in the chat. Yes, that's a good idea.
Perfect. Gary, do you have something to add?
Well, yeah, one of the vehicles that is being or talked about a bit within Australia is ETF, exchange traded funds. I'm not sure whether you're familiar with them, but they balance their portfolio based on top X number of companies within an index, and they're in different categories. Ones I'm looking at the moment, some local ones, Australian-based shares, international, property, commodity, currency, and they work themselves off the top 100, top 20, top 50 of businesses within a particular index. So they balance across, and their aim is to outperform the index itself. They've been around, there's a large number of them run by reputable organisations, Vanguard, BlackRock, VanEck, and there's a number that are around. That's one of the things that I've been introduced to, just investigating at the moment. On the other side of things, there's things like foreign exchange, which are a little different, but the way I do that is that I let the expert do the work and I provide the funds. So they're just some thoughts from me, and apologies for being late today. I ended up in the wrong meeting.
Oh, good. Okay, fantastic. So
thank you, Gary.
Thank you, everybody. Great shares. Piggybacking what everybody said, just to wrap this up. Two things. Definitely, I think you and your wife have great credit. So let's research ways to leverage your credit. Talk to your CPA as well, because a lot of people don't have good credit right now. Personally or business credit, because of COVID, and maybe went bankrupt or they foreclosed, but you have that, so you can use that for investments. Also, Michael is an expert of seeds and soil and landscaping, and second to that, Veronica with the land and minerals. You know, in my opinion, water and seeds or produce is a very high commodity, the highest commodity, because in case there's another pandemic, and at least we need to have just food, you know, to take care of ourselves and our loved ones. So I know it was already predicted in 2008. If you watch the movie The Big Short, you see that is one of the biggest commodities to invest in. Yeah, to ride the wave of less fertile economical times. Yeah, make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And I'm sure they can share more with you later if you want to hear. You got their email. Okay. Wonderful.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Let's we'll do a little bit of dance again. While the second person in the hot seat gets ready with their question. So close your eyes, dance like nobody's watching, like my dance teacher always said. And vámonos, 30 seconds. job. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bravo! I'm gonna send you to. So you think you can dance? That show. Yeah, it's from the US, from the UK, I think. I think I know the producer. All right. Veron, use send to everyone so everybody can see. You just sent it to me, okay? Privately, yeah.
Yeah, I have changed it now. I didn't see it originally.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. Who wants to go next? You're among like-minded individuals, like-hearted. This is a chance to share best practices, share experience, use their neurons to get some new ideas that can help you this month, this new quarter, this new season, and during the second half of the year. You can piggyback what you said at the beginning that was on your mind, perhaps. I would love each one of you to go today, since it's a smaller group.
Cool. I'm nearly refined with an idea.
Sure.
Well, let's explore marketing for a gardening service business that wants to really work with people that want to really love their garden and they want to really have something great. And it's a bit tricky, the gardening industry. I'm told from research that you need to have one referred to you, because just getting one out of the other pages or the online, you don't know them at all. You've got to sort of get along with your gardener. They're in your private space quite a lot. And so you have to kind of like them, and you have to be confident they're going to do a good job. And there's all sorts of issues, but it's only a panel of a couple of people. And I know that you're into your garden, Elena. I know you work with gardeners too, which is a great insight into some of the stuff that I do face and the kind of person I have to be to satisfy customers. So I've got plans to increase the size of my jobs and work with sort of less people and do more quality, and just want to find those people soon with a bit of marketing or somehow attract them towards my world.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, is everybody clear with the idea? Sorry, is everybody clear with the question? Okay, and I can go first. So we're free flowing, okay? So there is no exact order, but I've changed, in only 2 years, I've changed 4 gardeners, landscapers, big farmers, whatever you want to call them, or all in one, because somehow I could not express what I wanted correctly, or I cannot get what I wanted, or vice versa. So this one, yeah, it's still a works in progress, but seems like the best so far. So he is bilingual, which it's important because sometimes it's hard to understand them. And I'm myself, English is my second language. He shows up with his whole family and he puts them all to work, which I think is funny. And so I prepare some nice coffee or beverage for all of them. I accidentally, while I was waiting for him to come, I put the wrong supplement or food onto a plant and I killed it, and he scolded me for it, which I appreciated. So I learned. Also, I bought a lawn mower myself, and it's self-propelled, not with gasoline, but with battery operated. And I love it because that way I put the music on and I move. You know, I pay a fitness trainer to help me move. Why shall I, to work out, any occasion that I have to use my muscles, why don't I use it? So I do mow the lawn while he's there. I do it with him. So just in case, you know, there is something I cannot do, he can help me, but he can do something else during at the same time that that I don't know how to do. So it becomes like a group affair, everybody helping one another. And last but not least, he gave me some important education that nobody else gave me, none of the other previous landscapers, which is when you cut all that grass, that's organic food, which is really good. Remember, I killed the plant. So he taught me, which nobody has ever taught me, to use the cut grass and give it as food to the plants that maybe needed more attention. And I thought that was very valuable that he gave me that piece of information, which is so simple, but somehow if you are not reminded, you forget to do. So if any of these experience can help you promote your business, use it.
Michael,
cool.
I can jump in just because I have to get off soon for another work call, but I wanted to make sure I stayed on for Lisa's second hot seat.
Awesome, thanks.
You know, I didn't think I had anything to offer, but listening to Elena, I realized I have my own personal experience, which is I too have two gardeners. I didn't even think about that. And I'm thinking, why do I have two gardeners? Well, they serve different purposes. One guy comes every week and for $40 US, he just cuts the lawn. We have like 1.5 acres of lawn, so it's a little too much for me to deal with myself, given my job and my family. So he comes, cuts the lawn with a couple guys, and he gets the job done. And that's like the bread and butter. But then I got the other guy who's a fellow from Slovakia, who's a real kind of a garden artist or garden artiste. He's got the vision. He's the one that knows what the different plantings are. He knows how to cut them back. He does great stonework. He gets excited when he comes over. He gets excited. My property's not huge. I don't have, fountains and flowing gardens of Babylon, but he makes me feel excited because he gets excited about my property, and my property excites me because it's my property. And when it looks better, I feel better. So I think that there's a huge emotional piece to this. And it's about differentiating that the gardens come in different pieces. There's like the bread and butter, like how Elena cuts her lawn. There's only so many ways you can cut a lawn, but there's a lot of ways you can beautify a property. And I think it's the passion and the excitement that sells one person over another, sometimes to the point where people will have two different gardeners for two different reasons.
That is awesome. That's fabulous feedback, Matt, and extremely relevant on every point. Especially the needing two gardeners. I had one big contract for about 8 or 9 years. She's recently turned 90 and things have changed because the son's looking after everything. Now, I used to say to her, it's great that you like what I do and have kept me for so long. And she said, before you, I never could find the one person that could give the right care here and the right effort here and to do all the different areas. And it actually came back to me as sort of feedback that the best thing about my business was that I solved that problem of someone having to deal with too many people to get all their needs met.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. The challenge with it is the difference, as you mentioned too, really lean on with that some of it is mundane and really anyone could do it. My business is working very heavily to go towards coaching. And I love the fact that you talk about the passion that they help you have for your property. I think I do that probably. You help me identify something about what I see going on all the time, because they second time I go there, they're showing me around their garden and saying, now this has started flowering, and they weren't like that before. They become proud of it, and it's an amazing thing. So
that's great.
When a person's possibly trainable to do things themselves that will take time off what they need me for, then they become that person that does the basics. And I just come in and do the additional stuff. But I'm not averse to working with a straight lawn mowing show or somebody that will just regularly look after that 1.5 acres or something, because that's quite a bit of lawn still. That's great. Is that every second week, that $40?
Well, we're cutting the lawn weekly, and weekly. It's $40. It's $40 US. And just so you know, the guy who cuts the lawn, I like him too. He's a veteran. He's a returning veteran. And he started a business, and he employs probably, I don't know if they're day laborers, but he employs immigrants from the community. So even though he just cuts our grass, I give him the business over the thousands of people who just cut grass because I like his story and I like the fact that he's a hardworking veteran and everything is like yes sir, no sir. He's very formal and he's a good guy, you know. So I think it's a very human and humane business that you're in.
It certainly can be, and I love it. It's great. And and both you and Elena would be, you know, absolutely perfectly the kind of people I'd love to work with, you know, around in my own neighborhood.
Yeah,
it's,
exactly. I have to sign off now, so I'm going to say
Thank
goodbye
you,
to
Matt.
everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye,
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Very
Nice
good.
seeing you.
Veron and Gary, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I was having a bit of a think about that. You've got a lot of experience, Michael. You've got some gardens that you've worked on in the past that you love, and you've probably got some good before and after images.
Yes.
So one of the ways of sort of letting people know who you are is maybe using that as part of within whatever marketing you're doing, a bit of before and after look. And there's a lot of people that do before and after things, but sometimes before and after can show the extra passion that you have. And maybe, and look, I don't know whether it's feasible, but then you might be able to introduce something like a care package for new clients, which is, and I don't know what that might entail. It might entail some products that assist some garden food, plant food, stuff like that, or some additional information, because we know you've got a lot of information around. So that coupled with some images, care package and information, that might end up being a giveaway or something like that if it's not going to cost too much. That can, and then you can, then part of that education process becomes giving them the knowledge to use what you give them going forward.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I really like that, Gary. You've put some great little straight tactical lines there for me to. I've been working on the before and after stuff forever. There's been challenges.
Yeah.
With photos, there's always this thing. It's a little unfortunate. Probably some of the best stuff I've done, I'd be breaching confidentiality to release their garden to the public. And I guess it just comes all the way back down to, I've thought before, and it's actually been the topic on my focus for the career with coaching, to go down the testimonial road with some of the best of them, and to include in that please can you give me permission here in the returning this questionnaire or whatever to utilize a couple of photos, and please tick which one of the following apply. Use anything you like, show it to me first, whatever it is, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So but once I release a couple of photos that I would love to publish as part of marketing, it works. I got an iPad once entirely so I could show old folk what I'd photographed in their garden because my phone screen was too small. And so I started doing photography on it. And then I was photographing my own garden, which looked like pretty much a version of what I put on Facebook, all these close-ups of all these flowers. I've been doing it for years. And, you know, my customer, the spend doubled. It's the best way I can put it. They were bringing me in for $120 a month. I showed them a few photos and they said, if I put $500 on the table, could you do a bit more for our garden next month? It was just incredible, the impact of the photos, and especially the old folk. They loved it that I'd got a bigger screen and they could see it. And they just said, oh yeah, can you do some more work? So that photos really sell, and I've got to get my act together on photos. But in terms of the care package, I love it. I've got to come up with a title, a bit that's included, and maybe gift a few for promotion. I totally love it. Thanks, man.
Well,
Thank you, Gary. And let's hear from Veronica.
Yes, I think you can put a bit of feature in the garden as well to stimulate the imagination of how they can enjoy the garden. You know, it might not be what they want at the end, but it's just to make them feel like, oh, yes, they like to enjoy the garden. No, like here, what they do is they might have what is it? A bird bath, yeah.
Yep.
Or yeah, bird bath, you know, or you can put a Buddha statue there, you know, and some stones, you know, which makes it very, very serene, very quiet, very zen feeling of it, yeah. And another thing is that you can also have this. What do you call them? Not a rocking chair, but you know, like a chair where you can rock under the sun, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, or an
yeah, that's
Hammock.
right. Yeah.
A hammock.
hammock. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it doesn't mean that we want that, but it's just create that atmosphere, create that relaxing, you know, relaxing, loving atmosphere in the garden. And yeah.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much. Okay, remember in this process of MasterMind, we're following Napoleon's Hill method. So we only say thank you or tell me more, okay? To not to interrupt the free-flowing brainstorming and masterminding. Then at the end, we'll summarize with actions. So just one more, and then we'll wrap it up for this second heat, second hot seat, Mike. So I don't know what's the structure in Melbourne, but you know, if somebody lives in apartments, you have to come up with a balcony, quote unquote, garden and vases.
Yep.
You know, not everybody's got a big garden or space. And so with that, you can even do Zoom classes where you educate them and they do it yourself, and you can charge them a little bit. I know you love teaching, and they can do it with you while you tell them. You say, okay, take this, do that, dig, plant, blah, blah, blah. You take them step by step. And Jen, for the testimonials, I know that from marketing, when you start working with somebody, always have an agreement. This is for any business owner. Always, 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 always. If you don't, you're stupid, sorry, because you're setting yourself up for failure, not just you, anybody. So testimonials, people don't like to have to write it themselves. So you write it for them and you put that in the release agreement at the beginning. So they sign that you can use them as testimonial. They sign, and you take pictures and you write it for them. So you don't have to wait around for them to do it, okay?
Yep.
All right, very good. Good job, everybody. Was this helpful?
Yes, very much. Thank you so much,
Nice.
everyone.
Perfect. Okay, so while we take the last two hot seats, we're halfway through. Let's do another 30 seconds of dance. Ready? And vámonos. Move your body. Good job.
Whoops. Sat down early.
Me too.
Oh,
I can't hear the music. Music stop.
oh really? Was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gentlemen,
Faded out a bit.
you
Yeah.
didn't hear it either?
Just faded out a bit towards the end.
Faded out at the end. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm so sorry.
No,
Okay.
it's okay.
Okay, let me know next time to, I'm using this new technology today, you know, to make sure I follow Google protocols. So maybe something is not synchronizing correctly. Okay, Veron or Gary in the hot seat, whoever wants to go first.
I still need some time to think.
Sure, perfect.
Okay, I go then. Yeah. Well, it's about negotiation. I want to talk about, you know, because it's also about the difference between different business style and different culture. Yeah, you know, because like I am working at the medical supply to Brazil. Yeah, and what the problem now is the people there, they need the supply, you know, because of the situation there. But then they at the same time, it's like they're worried about if we pay you the money and you don't send the goods, then what happens? But then the supplier here won't want to receive all the money up front, you know. So I have to find a way, how can I persuade both parties, you know, to have a step back so that the deal can be reached, you know, because there's the supply, the manufacturer wants all the money before they send the shipment, but the customer, they want to pay the money when the shipment arrives only. Now, how to sort that problem out? It's a question of trust, isn't it? Yeah.
Is the question clear, gentlemen?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe let's clarify, because one more time, you know, with Amazon, you prepay, for instance. Amazon is the biggest. You prepay, you don't pay, you don't get nothing. So I know you're not Amazon, but maybe it's just a matter of retraining. I don't know. So okay, I'll, maybe Gary and Michael have a different perspective.
Yeah, I can go if you like. I back in the day when I was doing some corporate tempering, I did a lot of work in the payable section, and I've actually been through a fair bit of philosophy on paying, and also when there's trust issues. I think it's going to have to end up being more than one payment. So like an initial payment proposal needs to basically cover all of the materials and costs of the manufacturing process. So it's like, say they want to sell the item at, you know, $5 and it costs $2 to make. Then the $2 bit has got to be prepaid in the agreement. The money's got to be in their bank, and then they can order up and set up and make the stuff for the special run or whatever. And in terms of the delivery, they probably just need to receive a significant payment after they receive the rest of the goods, after that cost is made, the first up. You know, I'd suggest that a deposit payment become made by Brazil, and that the local company trust the order on its merits for receiving that portion of the total amount. You have to work out who doesn't trust the other the most, and work and explain really why trust is important in a situation, and what sort of extra credibility you can provide to encourage that trust. You might, like, for example, if it's a company, you might in the UK or in China that's producing the goods to be sold to Brazil, you might need to profile some testimonial from a previous customer that received all of their goods and were very happy with it, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some easy to accept credibility that would make the purchaser be more confident to put that much money up at the front. But I think it might be appropriate in this context, if it's slowing down the deal, to break the pay requirement into two different payments. And the first one covers so the manufacturer makes no loss, and the second one covers their profit on the deal, and then maybe 2 shipments, you know, something like that, or 1 shipment after the second payment or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 2 shipment, yeah.
Installments. They have to prepay a little bit, then something maybe in the middle and the rest at the end, but that way.
Yeah. So, okay, that might do.
When Gary did his systems mastermind in December or so, did you take advantage of his complimentary consultation, Veron?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did, but not on this project. You know?
Okay, good. Gary, do you have something to add?
Yeah, it's along the lines of what Michael said. There's a lot of it's got to be associated with the relationship, and particularly when you're new into a relationship like that, there's going to be that trust issue. And as Michael said, so my thinking, just taking that a little bit further, if you've got multiple payments between the supplier and yourself, as Michael said, to get started and then to continue on, you could also do the same with the customer, in that, okay, they need to pay a 25% deposit to start with, and then they at the end of it, so that allows a bit of money to flow. And and look, you might be able to change that as you go forward, as once your relationship builds with the supplier, in that some of that trust is garnished because you've been working with them for a period of time. But if the supplier's wanting upfront, you should also try and get some upfront from the end customer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just like for any business, you gotta have updated release or waiver agreements, okay?
Release
or
what is that?
waiver contracts, agreements. I like to call them agreements. It sounds less legal, less threatening, but you gotta have them in writing, all the legal contracts, agreements.
Okay.
Talk about installments or upfront payment and so on, the payment structure.
I think the biggest issue is the risk of the product. If it's a manufacturing run, it comes down to, is that product going to be bought by someone else if these guys don't end up paying for it or wanting it? If it's a product that everyone wants and needs, and it's just then they have to look at it like a specific order, maybe because it's particularly large or something. But they really need to run the risk on, because a lot of manufacturing is so custom. If there's any fallout, it's a big loss a really serious loss for the manufacturers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's why they want upfront. Yes. Yes. Very well. Thank you very much. Yeah, but I think the multiple payment or the multiple shipment that might work out. Yes. Thank you.
Cool.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, and I'm making a summary here, which I'll send in a moment so you guys have it. Okay, good. So we'll do 30 more seconds of moving our body so our brain can think better, scientifically proven. Let me know if you don't hear the music, okay? Let's try.
Okay.
And start.
I'll be back in 20 seconds. I have to.
Can you hear it?
Yes, yes.
Good job. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There you go. Perfect. That was a good music, huh? So, and I have a question too at the end. Simple, but I'll ask the group. So, but first, let's go to Mr. Gary.
I've only got a couple of minutes. I have to attend another event.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. I apologize. That's
No,
right.
that's okay. That's okay. One of the things I've been doing is spending a bit of time in reworking how I'm going to deliver my services and productize them. But I guess in the last few minutes, I'd be interested in understanding how everybody is feeling going forward from a well-being perspective in the current environment. So just a quick question for each of you to make sure that you're all feeling or understand how you're feeling about the current environment.
Yeah, well, go Elena. Sorry.
Yeah, is everybody clear on the question?
Yes.
Cool. Go for it, Mike.
Yeah. I compare it a bit with something that happened to me about a year ago now. I had a tree branch fall on my arm, about nearly 400 kilograms, and I was caught in a V, and I went black from the elbow to the hand, just black and swollen. And the general consensus before the hospital X-rays was multiple breaks and fractures throughout the whole arm. And the hospital, my brother said, we need a miracle here. And about a few hours later, we got the X-ray and there was not one fracture showing. And they said to me, but in all that 6 hours, I had to reassess that I couldn't do my job anymore. I couldn't do my business anymore. Everything had gone. So I went through all of that in my mind and came to a resolve. And then I got told that I'd probably be able to get back to work in about 3 or 4 weeks. Now, 12 months later, I've done plenty of big jobs, plenty of big lifts. It is like back to normal. It wasn't straight away, but now it is. And I think that when this first hit, nobody knew how big it was really going to get, if millions of people were going to die. And realistically, we've all swallowed that pill and come out the other side of that. Whether 9 out of 10 or 6 out of 10, we've managed to see the end of everything and then find out that isn't going to happen. So I'm hoping that it's a bit like a near-death experience in a way. When people get to that point and then they are still alive and they're okay afterwards, they live life differently. And I'm hoping that we all lived life differently. I'm enjoying tremendously reviewing what matters to me about the remainder of my mortal time here, the things that are really worth doing and living with. And so that's just me. But I think it's a great analogy because I went through the end of it all, and then it wasn't for the business and for me with this arm, because it just got better.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Mike.
My pleasure. Veronica?
Yes. Well, I think everybody is more aware of well-being after this, and whether you talk to an individual or you talk to a group, or it is all shifting that perspective. That we have to take well-being and health first. There's also I just went to a webinar just now before this, which is about Latin America and Caribbean, or about the condition there. And it's almost everybody is saying that, okay, we should design a new future for ourselves. The new future is like a new system that we cannot operate, not the way we operate in the past, but the new future is like we have to no race, no boundary, like that we have to to be, what is the word, contagious. Yeah, he said contagious with sharing our loves, respecting each other, regardless of race and nationality or religion or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, so I feel for myself, yes, I'm also becoming, I mean, I normally always take care of my health, but now is I'm putting a lot more attention and exercise into keeping the well-being, and also practicing self-love more. We have to love ourselves first too.
Thank you, Veronica.
Beautiful. Was that helpful, Gary?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave. I've got
yeah,
another.
yeah, I know. So you got a good audience here. We're all positive.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Gary.
Totally. All right, Gary. Cheers, man.
Bye, Gary. Bye, Gary.
Okay, so I have one question to ask you too. Do you want 30 seconds of dance?
Yes, why not?
Yeah, why not?
That's the spirit. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's do it. This is our last movement for this session. There'll be more to come. And vámonos. Good job. Nice movement, everybody. Very good. And I'll invite you to do more of it on your spare time and after this session. And 5, count with me. 4,
Oh,
3,
3,
2, and
2, 1.
Bravo. All right, I've become a better DJ. All right, so here's my question for the two of you. Let me share the screen so you know what I'm talking about. You probably already know, but here we go. All right, so as you know, before COVID, I was planning this great leadership retreat of the century, of the decade, and in Italy with a lot of fun things and experiential just live experiences that I was gonna also stream, but I needed to be there at least, you know, to make it happen. So now with COVID, it's all sort of up in the air. It's not clear if you have to quarantine yourself in the new country. Even the embassies don't know, the airlines don't know, the place, the venue of this event. I don't even know if it's gonna reopen. I mean, it's all up in the air, and I think it's kind of too late to make it happen this year, because people need a lot of time to do an international travel, plan their time off. So I'm leaning towards postponing it for around the same time next year, just like the Olympics postponed 1 year, the Olympics in Japan. And in the meantime, do something fun. I'll do it for free. Maybe I'll pick one of these activities and do a virtual, whether it's animal leadership or art therapy with the opera singing and all that jazz. So something fun. But so some people have already paid. They're all private clients, and the tuition is really small. It was only for the price of the opera and the castle entrance, all that. So, but you know, they'll have to work out with the airline to get credit for next year, if that's the route I'm gonna go. And then the hotels, hopefully, you know, they'll have to work it out with them too, or Airbnb, whatever they booked for their staying. But so what do you think? You know, had you bought the ticket, and how would you feel? How do you think I should approach it, and let them know? Put yourself in their shoes and in my shoes. I want to be as delicate as possible and be respectful of everybody's time. And of course, I would love the two of you to also participate when it happens. I would love to also repeat the whole thing in Australia, like I said, Mike, after that. Yeah.
Well, I think that having it next year would possibly just make it twice as successful as having it this year, with all of the extra time. Not just people like me get to be organised enough to make it, which was something I was prioritising and was thinking about extremely seriously before this COVID stuff, but I was holding off on buying the air ticket because it's actually my peak time of work. And I would want to, if I went to Europe, spend a few more weeks than just, you know, the conference and that. So I think I would have probably done that on the earlier side rather than the later side. So I'd probably have gone maybe start of July or something like that and stay through to, you know, 15th of September or something, I'm not sure. But next year, why not? It's you'll be able to slightly change what it is and have more comfort. And I think if you might market it flat out for 6 months and get, you know, 150 people interested or 250 or whatever. But if you market it straight out for, like, you know, whatever it ends up being, 16 months, you'll just continue to get people, and the enthusiasm can build. You can do a monthly, 11 months to go, here's a few hints, and 10 months to go, here's a few bits of, what's coming, and you can sort of build all that momentum up with everyone. So I hope you still do it. And doing something online this year at the same time, you could do like what that Dean Gaziosi did with that massive online thing. If you give a few things and make it a bit sort of, recovering from COVID, a bit coaching-ish and a bit motivatory, maybe a bit of dancing thrown in, you can hold a virtual event that is kind of everything to do with itself, as well as promoting the big one next year.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. You said dancing, huh? You like that part?
I think it's a winner. I think if you get it right with people. A lot to work on with the music, though. That's a slightly important bit to work on more.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not a very good DJ. Thank you so much. Very helpful. And Veron.
I think if people bought ticket already or think they can negotiate with airline, etc., for next year, because everything, I think even airline and all this hospitality people are quite flexible now because of the situation. Yeah. Well, I think it's a good idea to have a virtual one this year, and on some maybe like creating a new future topic, you know, plus some exercise, some dancing, some singing, etc. You know, make it very light, very fun. Yeah, it's a time to connect. You know, it's like a time to connect and also to refresh. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. I love it. Okay, so here, here the summary of keywords, okay, or what we discussed. So I want for all three of us, let me put it in the chat box. Stop share, here we go. I want one action from each of you that you are gonna take and put it in the chat, and I'll do mine too, from that you're going to take, yeah, as a result of this mastermind. Just one, the first action you're gonna take. Beautiful. Thank you, Michael. So yeah, for me, it's gonna be to update the website, and inform people, inform participants of the new virtual retreat, meantime, and the new live one next year. Yeah, okay. And for you, thank you, Michael, very helpful. And Veronica is gonna email Brazil. Fabulous. Oh, oh, Michael, is that your action?
That's my action, yes.
Okay, okay. So no try. We don't try. We do it.
All right. Okay.
We've got the power. There is no trying. All right. Good job. Good job. All right, my friends. You are amazing. You're amazing. So I'll catch you on Monday/Tuesday. This was great. I'll put the recording online, and I think this is going to help all the participants who couldn't make it. I'm really impressed. Good job. And thank you so much. So we will have the next one at the beginning of July already. Wow. So second half of the year, first Wednesday/Thursday. And you email me or let me know if you want a specific topic. You got time, and we'll make it happen, okay?
Nice one.
You feel good?
Very good.
Yes, I like your picture, the scenery at the back. Very nice. That's island in the sun.
That's where the retreat is going to be. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, my friends, much love, okay? I'll let you go with a little bit of music. And ciao.